Today we're going to talk about 4 different leadership theories. These 4 theories are important because effective and efficient leaders are able to read the situation, act accordingly, and employ the techniques associated with each given theory effectively and in a way that is both diplomatic and productive. So the theme, as you will see as we go through this video, is using each of the Golden Girls to illustrate each type of leadership theory. So the first theory is contingency theory. This is when a leader is able to read the situation and act accordingly. This theory is very flexible when it comes to how to act on a situation, how to respond to questions, how to address issues, because it recognizes and honors the fact that no 2 people are the same, no 2 situations are the same, and no 2 groups of people are the same. So as a future education leader, this is the one I would be most effective using. It's most effective in the education sector because, as a building administrator, no 2 students are the same, no 2 teachers are the same, no 2 days are the same. So everything needs to be addressed according to what is happening in that moment. As someone who works in alternative education in particular, and in a building that has a very high population of students who suffer from mental health disorders, as well as backgrounds with legal issues pertaining to violence and drug use and all sorts of other things, the root causes vary every day. What kinds of stress behaviors are they bringing in? What kind of night did they have the night before? Have they eaten? If it's Monday, have they eaten all weekend? So these are things that you have to consider, and the contingency theory allows the leader to take those things into consideration. As a corporation level leader, no 2 school buildings are the same. The well-to-do school with very high socioeconomic status and the school that is title status, again, have very different needs, and the questions, concerns, and issues need to be addressed differently based on those unique needs. Sophia here will tell you a story about Cicely based on whatever it is that's going on in your life, to give advice and to lead the way in their house. Continuum theory is more subjective. It is it's a way for the leader to self-reflect and think about a way to change the situation in order to better suit the needs of the faculty or the employees. So say, for example, the leader is viewed as off-putting, as disconnected, as uncaring. In the continuum theory, the first step in being an effective leader could be going to each person who is working in that building or in that company and talking to them, having a conversation with them, having a conversation about, hey, getting to know you. I want to get to know you. I want to know how what drives you, what motivates you, what do you need from me as a leader, what do you want input on, and that is continuum theory. And our friend Rose here does just that. She changes the situation in St. Olaf to some of the most bizarre things you will ever hear, but by golly, she gets her point across. Path goal leadership, it fits in with goal setting and expectancy theories when you talk about motivational theories. And the reason that they intertwine is because you have the goal in mind and you set the path in order to achieve that goal. So you expect to be successful, you set a goal to be successful, and that is what will motivate the faculty or the employees to be successful. So the leader in this case would say, this is the end goal. Here's the path in which we are going to use to get there. And then they provide motivation, they provide encouragement in order to reach that goal. So we have our friend Blanche here. Her goal is always to get the man. And she's trying to lead him in that direction, down that path of her being his end goal. Leadership substitute theory is an accountability theory as well as a checks and balances theory. The authors of our textbook mention neutralizers in this situation, where the neutralizers stand up and say, you know, we need to work more as a team. We need you to come down a few notches and interact and include more of the lower management into the decisions that are being made. They are the ones who will kind of go between the workers and management, and they will bring the management and say, you know what, this is going to be a group effort. You don't get to sit all the way at the top and just flood directives down at everybody else. Our friend Dorothy here, she is a prime example of leadership substitute. She will shut somebody down faster than anything. So that's why she is here illustrating leadership substitute theory. This is the reference of our textbook, so we definitely want to give credit where credit is due to the authors of the textbook who have outlined and defined these theories for everyone. So thank you for watching. I hope that brought some clarity to what each of these theories entail. Have a good day.